Hey, this is Stephen from PM Lesson with a quick product management hack. So, oftentimes I recommend people to take pauses before they jump into their interview answers. Or various times in the interview, you might want to take a pause. Overall, I recommend that you take these pauses liberally and as much as you need to. But for some people, it can be a little hard to get into that state where they're actually taking pauses, and they feel like it's a little awkward. So there are two ways that you can kind of give yourself a little bit of pause and break without actually having to make it necessarily awkward that I recommend. Before I jump into these though, keep in mind that I personally and many PM interviewers do believe that it's important to take pauses throughout your interview and that it isn't awkward. So the final state that you should get in is one where you feel comfortable taking pauses as you need to. That said, here are two hacks for helping you get through it. 1. Restate exactly what your interviewer just told you. If your interviewer asks you a question, just restate it, saying something like, okay, so it sounds like what I need to do is X, Y, Z. You're essentially affording yourself more time without introducing new information, and you're still communicating to the interviewer. It's a good tactic also because it shows that you're actively listening to the interviewer, and the interviewer can check and make sure that you guys are on the same page. Second, water. One of my best and favorite hacks is always having a bottle of water in the interview. Whenever I need to, or whenever I need to take a little bit of a breather or a pause, I'll just take a quick sip of that water and put it back on the table. That gives you maybe 5 seconds, but sometimes that 5 seconds is valuable, even if it is taking those 5 seconds to decide whether or not you even need to ask for a little bit more time. So generally, those two hacks are pretty good tactics for figuring out ways to get a little bit more pause room and a little bit more leeway in your interview. But as I mentioned, there's nothing that beats just knowing when to take pauses and making sure that you're doing them liberally and not worrying about it too much. Hopefully, these two quick hacks were helpful, and you can check out more great content on pmlesson.com.